Welcome back. In the last two videos, we understood intuitively how a random forest works. In this video, we'll broadly look at the hyperparameters of random forest. Let us first understand what the term hyperparameters mean. We have seen that there are multiple factors which can be used to define a random forest model. For instance, the maximum number of features used to split a node or the number of trees in the forest. We can manually set and tune these values. So I can set the number of trees to be 20 or 200 or 500. We can manually change and update these values, and these are called the hyperparameters of random forest. Let us see what are the hyperparameters that we can tune in the random forest model. As we have already discussed, a random forest has multiple trees, and we can set the number of trees we need in the random forest. This is done using a hyperparameter n estimators. There are multiple other hyperparameters that we can set at a tree level. So consider this one tree in the forest. Can you think of hyperparameters for this tree? Firstly, we can set the number of features to take into account at each node for splitting. For example, if the total number of features in my dataset is 100 and I decide that I'll randomly select the square root of these total number of features, so which comes out to be 10. So I'll randomly select 10 features for this node and the best feature will be used to make the split. Then again I'll randomly select 10 features for this node and similarly for all the nodes. Instead of taking a square root, I can also consider taking the log of the total number of features in the dataset. So max feature is one of the parameters that we can tune to randomly select the number of features at each node. Another hyperparameter could be the depth of the tree. For example, in this given tree, here we have level 1, here we have level 2, and this will be our level 3. So the depth of the tree in this case is 3. We can decide the depth to which a tree can grow, and this can be considered as one of the stopping criteria that restrict the growth of the tree. Another value that we can control is the minimum number of samples required to split a node and the minimum number of samples at the leaf node. So for instance, if I have 1000 data points and after the first split, I have 700 in one node and 300 in the other node, and here are the values of number of data points in each of the node after splitting. Now we can set the criteria that a node will split only when the number of samples in the node is more than 100. So this node with 80 samples will not have a further split. Same is the case with this node and this node, since our condition is that the number of samples should be more than 100. Another condition that we can set is the number of samples in the leaf node. So if I say that the split can happen only when after the split the number of samples in the leaf node comes out to be more than 85, then in that case this will be an invalid split, since after the split the number of samples is only 80. This split is valid, so is this, and this is again, this split will not take place. Instead, if my criteria was that the number of samples in the leaf node after split should be 50, then this is a valid split and even this split is valid. So these are two other criteria that we can tune: the minimum number of samples in the split and minimum samples in leaf. Another important hyperparameter is criteria. Remember, while studying decision trees, we learned how Gini impurity is used as a criteria to split. Similarly, we can have some other criteria like entropy. So to set which criteria to use will be done using the hyperparameter criterion. So these are the most important hyperparameters of random forest. You can read about other hyperparameters using the link shared below. We would look at how changing these parameters can affect the model when we implement random forest. Thank you.